Hi, boys and girls. This week we started to study the ways that we pick a great seed topic in writing workshop. We read a book called A Chair for My Mother earlier in the week, and we met a little girl and her mother who works as a waitress in a diner. Now, they take weeks in this story to save their coins in a jar from tips to buy a comfortable new chair to sit in. Now, we also started to talk about watermelon and seed topics. This book right here, A Chair for My Mother, is a great example of a watermelon story. Authors are allowed to write watermelon stories because they have experience with taking a really big moment in life and telling all the great details about it. Now, as you know, in first grade, we don't pick watermelon topics for our stories. Instead, we try to take one seed from within a watermelon and write a story about it. So if you look at the book, A Chair for My Mother, and you consider it a watermelon, we are going to talk about some possible seed topics in this book. One seed might be the girl working at the diner with her mother, filling the salt and pepper containers and washing the ketchups. That's an example of a story where if you were the girl, you could take that moment and write a seed story. Another seed story within this big watermelon one is how when they finally picked out that comfortable chair in the store, they called their aunt and uncle to come pick it up with them in a pickup truck and bring it home. A third seed topic within this watermelon book is the example of the fire. Now, this was one that we really took a good look at in class. When the girl and her mother were coming home one day from shopping for new shoes and looking at tulips, they came around the corner and they noticed two huge fire trucks on their block in front of their home. Listen to the detail that the author adds during this seed moment. Right outside our house stood two big fire engines. I could see lots of smoke. Tall orange flames came out of the roof. All the neighbors stood in a bunch across the street. Mama grabbed my hand and we ran. Now that's just part of the seed moment, but the author was able to include such great detail about what was happening because she really zoomed in on this seed moment and told everything she saw, heard, and felt. At the end of this seed moment, the girl looks inside of the home that is now fully burned to ashes. But not to worry, at the end of the story, they do get a new apartment and they're able to buy a lot of new furniture and make it look the way that it once did. Now, when we consider topics that we might want to write about in our own books and writing workshop, often we think about really exciting times, perhaps maybe even like a birthday or a vacation. So let's consider a birthday for just a moment. When you wake up and it's your birthday, that's a watermelon. Your birthday lasts an entire day. An entire day is too long to write one story about and tell all the great details. So within that watermelon day, there's a couple of seeds. Maybe you woke up and you found balloons in your room all decorated. Well, that's one seed story. Maybe you got to play a really great fun game with a friend at your birthday party. That's another seed story. And maybe you got to open a present and got something you really wanted. Well, that's a third seed story. So in Writing Workshop, we want you to pick one of those small, tiny seed moments and then tell all the great details about it. So now it's your turn. This week, we want you to come up with a seed topic that should be short and focused. Think of something that maybe only took 5 minutes to happen. That would be a great moment to write about in Writer's Workshop because you could really zoom in and tell all the great details. So this weekend, think of one of these seed topics and be ready to write about it next week. We can't wait to hear them.